let's shift gears. We talked about Bruce last week. We talked about Billy Joel. We talked about Elton John. Let's talk about 80s artist Tom Petty for a second. Is that okay? Can we do that?
Sure. But wait, wasn't he more 70s though?
You would think that, but he had so much success in the mid to late 80s and into the 90s too. Mary Jane's Last Dance was 1994. Free Falling was 88 or 89. So we could bring him up now. That's okay. And then we'll get to some other artists. All right, cool. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Yes, their first album was in 1976. So yes, they first came out in the 70s. But I want to touch on them. Tom Petty, even as a solo act, he released a ton of music in the 80s. Everything from Full Moon Fever to Full Moon Fever is a great album in general. So if you haven't heard of Full Moon Fever, you've probably heard of Free Fallin', Running Down a Dream. You've heard I Won't Back Down. These are all great songs in general by Tom Petty. But and they were in the 80s Tom Petty. So chat board, help me out with some 80s Tom Petty albums. Like, Don't Come Around Here No More. That's a great song. That was like 85, 86. So Bill, do you have any favorite Tom Petty songs?
From the 80s or just in general?
From the 80s. You could say Free Falling, you could say I Won't Back Down. You could say
it wasn't I Won't Back Down the 90s.
I Won't Back Down was 89. I fact checked.
Oh, that was 99.
No, 89. Yep, I checked.
Okay, I do really like I Won't Back Down.
I Won't Back Down's pretty good.
You can scare me up in the gates of hell, but I won't back down.
Yep. You got we're gonna look it up for a second. I'm forgetting some of his albums all of a sudden. But he has had so much.
Sorry, get some ice cream.
Okay, it's okay.
I'm like a 5-year-old. I love ice cream.
Bill is eating ice cream on camera. So all right. Southern Accents had a couple songs on it. Long After Dark. I want you to check this. So Don't Come Around Here No More is a great song that he wrote in. It was in 85. It was a big hit. Don't come around here no more. You know that one?
Yes, I do know that.
The title track, Southern Accents.
No more, that one.
Yep, The Best of Everything. That's another song that's really good too. This album in general, Southern Accents, is pretty darn good. So he's Southern Accents was a good album in the 80s. And then if you want to go into the Long After Dark, it had the big hit "You Got Lucky." I don't know if you know that one. It's like
I do not know that one.
I know because it's like the dun 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 dun. It's got like the synthesizer on it. I feel like if I played it, you know that one. I feel like if I played it, "You Got Lucky" is like I forget what it was. It was a big hit for him in like the late 80s, and then the 90s he had a lot of success too. But yeah, I mean, what can you say about Tom Petty, the guy who is a pioneer of rock and roll, heartland rock, and mainly in the 80s in general? But he started in the 70s, but he had a lot of success in the late 80s as a solo artist as well. How could we forget that? Like the stuff like I Won't Back Down and Free Fallin', those are all songs from his solo effort from 1988's Full Moon Fever. And actually, funny thing, that album was produced by Jeff Lynne from Electric Light Orchestra. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Now you do. So Jeff Lynne, yeah, go ahead.
You know who did the drumming for Tom Petty in the I Won't Back Down music video?
Who did?
Ringo.
Oh, he did? No way.
Yeah, I think that was him.
Oh, get out. I had no idea. I didn't know that. So also another thing too about Tom Petty is that, I mean, this is more modern day, but he did play the halftime show back in like 2007, 8.
Yeah,
I think right. Yeah,
in 2008 when the Giants came back and beat the Patriots. That was one of the best days of my life.
Oh, that was a good time. Oh,
It was a great time.
Patriots suck. Just saying.
No offense to our listeners who live in the great state of Massachusetts.
Or the New Englanders, or like the Patriots, or this or that. Just saying.
Yeah.
Outside of, I mean, the guy was going into the 90s too. He had a huge album with Into the Great Wide Open, which had the song "Learning to Fly" on it, which is actually a pretty good song too. But yep. But the guy was I never saw him live. He was coming to the area around us in 2017 on his 40th anniversary tour, and I missed it. I was gonna go, and I was on the fence about it. I said, "Nah, I'll wait till the next time." And the next time never came. I never got to see Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Because October 2017, he died.
Yeah, I was gonna see him on that tour, and then sure enough, he died. It was terrible. So,
did you buy tickets already or no?
No. I was looking to buy a ticket, but I never went. I never acted on it, which sucked because Tom Petty was one of my heroes. So he still is, but yeah. Born in Florida, raised on Heartland Rock. He was a fantastic guy. What can you say? One of the best artists of that time period, too.